audible to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Just all of you are requested. Kindly switch off the mic. Kindly listen. Are requested. Switch off the mic. आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप अपने माइक को म्यूट कर लें. माइक को म्यूट कर लें आप, क्योंकि अगर आप mute कर लें, तो फिर everyone will be audible and I'll be audible to everyone. Can you mute the mic so that I may be audible to everyone? Just kindly switch off. I'll just switch off the mic of everyone. Okay. Very good afternoon to all of you. As you all have been told that is it the second lecture of Dell Presents online lecture series, and today the speaker is Dr. Ashish Gupta sir, and he will be delivering the lecture on plagiarism, what is plagiarism and how to avoid it. Very soon he will join us. The timing of this lecture is 3 p.m. We have 8 minutes, and within that he will join us. Let me tell you that we have more than 300 plus submissions of form from whole world. We got submissions from world, means we have submissions from out of India, abroad also. So many people are from Philippines and Thailand and from other countries also. One mistake have been done from our side, that the notification was sent to everyone, to all the applicants. In that notification there was mentioned that the live lecture will be started at 3 p.m. but there was not any mentioning of Indian time or the time of which country. So they will be struggling. They may have confusion that they will join us. They will try to join us according to their time. So they may be struggling because of that, because of my fault. I am really sorry to all of them who are from abroad, whose time does not match with Indian time. I should have mentioned that it is Indian time so that everyone could have got it to know that they should join at this time. Okay, so I'm really sorry to all of them whom I just put in confusion. And right now we have 26 listeners. Let me see. Ashish Kumar Gupta sir, attendee, and Albert Cadiz Bulawat, Archana Nirmal, Ashutosh Pratap, Dr. Brijesh Gupta, Dr. Sindhu, Gayatri E, Habibul, Kumar Kanishk Sinha, Lucky, Mamta, Manisha, Mehnaz Banu, Nazir Hussain, Paul Raj P, Sagarika Chakravarti, Sabnoor Siddiqui, Shaq Jamaluddin, Srilata RH, Sumitra Devi Chetri, Vinod Khana, and others are friends. Okay, welcome sir. Our speaker has joined us. Our speaker has joined. Coming to our speaker, Dr. Ashish Gupta sir. Dr. Ashish Gupta sir has joined us, and let me tell you that today's speaker is Dr. Ashish Gupta sir, and come to the messages. Sir, try to speak. Let me see. Either are you audible or not? Just speak something. Ashish sir, I'm requesting
Hello,
to
I
you.
can hear you.
Kindly speak something.
Hello, Sekar. Good afternoon.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Hello,
Very good
Sekar.
afternoon, sir. Very good
Am I
afternoon.
audible?
Hello. Yes, you are audible. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes. Yeah. You too.
Okay. Okay. Very good afternoon to you, sir. In live lecture series and we are very
Thank you so
thankful to you that it is the session that is going to be done by you are the speaker for today's lecture series, today's lecture, and you are at the right time, sir. Thank you so much. And as the time has been mentioned that it is 3 p.m., so listeners are joining us. I will start our session. We will start our session at 3 p.m. So till then, let others join us. For a start, I would like to switch off my camera and phone. I would like to request to all of you, kindly just keep joining us. I'm coming within, and I would like to start the session. Before starting session, I would like to say thanks to everyone who has registered in this lecture series, and I'm very thankful to everyone who has joined in this lecture series. And now I would like to say that I hope you all are fine in this pandemic, during this pandemic time, and you will be enjoying. We should be very hopeful and very positive. With that mood, I have just initiated this platform, this lecture series, to connect the listeners from whole world and the professors from different universities and colleges. During this time, scholars and people are not able to join the physical lectures, means live lectures in the classroom. So now we have nice medium to listen, to get the knowledge and to impart the knowledge and online platform. And I have started this platform with that motive. My motive is to connect the scholars and the students and professors, and to create a very positive platform for everyone. The first lecture of this series was delivered on the 6th of June, and it was very nice lecture that was delivered by Dr. Muhammad Samin sir, and it was on the topic third gender, means inclusion and exclusion of third gender in India. And it was very successful and very positive and very fruitful lecture for all my attendees. And the next lecture that is scheduled today, that is scheduled for today, and the speaker for today's lecture is Dr. Ashish Gupta sir. He is from UP, but he has been appointed, he is appointed in Government Degree College in Uttarakhand. He has done a lot of works in the fields on social issues, queer studies, gender studies, diaspora, and multiculturalism. He has completed his Doctor of Philosophy from University of Allahabad. He has edited so many books. Few of them are The Third Gender, Stain and Pain, Quintessence of Dalit Literature, Rebel Narratives and Glass Ceiling of Ambivalent Sexism, Critical Perspective of Gender Trouble, Volume and 2, 1 and 2. He has published several research papers in different national and international journals. He keeps on editing the research papers and so many books, literary books. And today we have got chance to listen him to get some fruitful knowledge. And the topic of the lecture is what is plagiarism and how to avoid it. To this topic, plagiarism is a very important field in which we all should have very deep knowledge because if we edit any paper, if we write any paper, if we write our thesis, if we write any answer, whatever we write, we should follow and we should just know the ethics of writing the thesis and research papers. So, as is one of them, plagiarism is one of the ethics that we should know and we should follow while writing research papers. And so, keeping the importance of this topic, we have selected this topic for today's session. And the lecture, it will be for 1.5 hours. Means the timing is of 1 hour, but it can take 1.5 hours also, because at the last of the session, in the end, we will have question answer session. During all my attendees announce their name, and the name I will announce, you will have to come on the live. Means if you want, you can switch on your camera and mic, and you can ask the question to our speaker directly. If someone is able to switch on their his or her camera, they can ask their question from this visual. And now we have, it is 3:06 and we have 40 attendees now. I'm really, once again, I would like to accept my fault that in notification I had mentioned 3 p.m., but I had not mentioned anything that is either it is or the time of any other country. So the attendees from foreign countries, they would have confusion of time, because just now I received a call in which, in that call, that person was asking that what is time there in India and when should we join us. So I just, at that time, I got it to know that I have committed mistake and I have not mentioned that it is Indian time. Okay, so without wasting time and without making you feel bored, I would like to request our speaker, sir, Dr. Ashish Gupta, sir, to start the lecture. And let me tell you one thing more, that as it is named REL Presents Online Lecture Series, it is the second lecture of this series, and in the coming days, the dates and timing of further lectures. You will find the notification of those lectures on your registered email ID. And if you want, you can watch the complete video of first lecture that was held on 6th June on YouTube channel. I have sent the link of that, and you can find today's means you can find the whole complete video of today's lecture on YouTube, on the same YouTube channel. And I would like to request that during the lecture you all should keep your mic mute, so that we may not feel any problem while conducting this lecture. So now I would like to request our speaker, sir, Dr. Ashish Gupta, sir, to start the session. We all from this REL Institute, we all welcome to this live lecture series. We are grateful to you, sir, that you give your consent and you joined us. You are going to deliver the lecture. Okay, sir. Now you should start.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kumar, for organizing such a beautiful lecture series. And the first lecture, I was also there by Dr. Mohammad Samisa, who is also, I think, he has joined. And I can see most of my familiar friends are here. Brijesh Gupta ji, Sarita Jain, Kajal Sarma, and many more are here. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible. You are audible.
Okay, thank you. And please give me right to share my screen so that I can begin my lecture.
Okay. Okay, sir. You have full right to share anything, whatever you want.
Can you see the full screen or any problem is there?
We will see. We will see your presentation. I would like to request to all the attendees, if you want, if you, that screen is not visible to you, you can zoom the screen. There is an option you can zoom and you
Please
can
let me
take
know.
the shots.
Yeah,
But I am getting some fluctuation from my side.
Yes, sir.
Just let me
Okay,
check it.
there is a network issue, but your screen is
Your
completely
voice is
visible to
also
us.
not very proper. Hmm.
There is a problem in your, there is problem in network of yours. Okay, I am audible to you.
Yeah. But your voice is falling apart. So I think
Okay,
you
okay,
should check from your
okay.
side.
Okay, let me check. Okay, sir. You can continue.
Okay. During this pandemic time, we are here from our home to get knowledge or to disseminate knowledge regarding plagiarism. Myself, Dr. Ashish Kumar Gupta, working as assistant professor in Uttarakhand in a government degree college. So, plagiarism is a very important issue that all research scholars as well as assistant professor, associate professor, and professor all are very fearing about. Why they are fearing? Because they are not able to know what plagiarism is. At first, I would like to say that for whom this session is for those who are creatively active in the realm of academia, in the session of writing, in the practice of writing, whether they are UG student or PG student. They may be associate professor, or any who is anyone who is teaching somewhere. As you know that UGC nowadays is too much strict about plagiarism. Before that, UGC was not so conscious when the issue came to UGC that so many research papers and theses are being copied and using are being used for degrees only. Then UGC became strict and started taking action. As we talk about degradation of research, we come to know that our system is responsible for our degradation. And along with that, research scholar and research supervisor also are very much involved in that system for the degradation of our research work. We do not give importance to our work. We do not pay heed to our basic concept of work. We use DPhil thesis or MPhil thesis only to get degree. Please mute yourself. We are not dedicated as we should. That's why we are facing problem. We can say that, corrupt at ourselves. We do not take research honestly. These all are connected with plagiarism. And let me tell you that research is not child's play. It's too much stuff. I can tell you that a research student asked me to give suggestion about write a synopsis. And I asked him that in which genre, in which literary form do you have more interest? You like play, poetry, or prose? In which genre you are most interested? He told me that, sir, please tell me any topic. I like every genres. So the problem comes that if we are going to take research, then we should know the basics of it. And basics we will come to know from MLA handbook. Those who are from humanities, they will be well aware about MLA style sheet. It's a referencing style. And we get all ethics and all types of rules and regulation and how to follow it in MLA referencing style. That's a style, or we can say a referencing procedure. Now I'll begin. What is plagiarism and how to avoid it? This is my topic. This is a question and here is solution. What is plagiarism? It's a question and how to avoid is solution. What is plagiarism? Etymologically, pardon, there is some problem with my screen. Let me check it. Are you able to see it on full screen?
Yes, sir. Yes. You can just maximize this. Okay. That is okay, sir.
If you talk, yes. Just tell me if you are not getting my voice or it's a breaking.
Okay. You can continue, sir. You can continue. You're audible.
Etymologically, it originates from Latin term plagiarius, means kidnapper. Do you know this kidnapper word is very relevant, and in other language. Okay. So I was talking the origin of this word. This word came from Latin, and the term is plagiarius. It means kidnapper. Kidnapper is very much relevant word, because when we copy someone else's ideas or imagination or words, we kidnap. In first century, Roman poet Martial, he charged an allegation to his fellow poet that he kidnapped his verses. Means Martial's fellow friend, who was also a poet, he copied his poems. So in first century, it was there in Rome. It introduced in England by Ben Jonson in 1601. Ben Jonson, as you know, he was a renowned English dramatist, and he also talked about the literary theft. Do you know this kidnapper word is very important? And in other languages, we find more meaning of plagiarism. In other, we find that snare, trap, weave. Hmm. These are so many meanings that different countries have uh, try to define it. But kidnapper is very relevant term. It appeals me too much. Now, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is a literary theft. What is literary? Everything what is written in letter, that is literary. It may be of any language, it may be of any country. What is written, it is literary. What is in alphabet, what is in letter? Letter means not epistle. Letter, I am talking about alphabets of any language. It's a literary. And what becomes literary? Literary, if we publish it, it becomes literary. Also, an unpublished work is also literary, but when we publish it, it comes under the right of intellectual property right. And what is theft? Theft, as you know, work of a thief. So suppose you your house is burgled by a thief, and he takes away all your jewelry. It means that your property is being kidnapped. Your property is being stolen by the thief. And that thief goes to a goldsmith and he says that these jewelry are mine and I want to sell it. Then the goldsmith will ask that it doesn't seem that it's all your jewelry. Hmm. But the thief will say, no, no, this is mine. And goldsmith will take all the jewelry and give the thief the amount of the jewelry worth. So here literary theft how happens? Suppose that house or that jewelry, that house is a book and the jewelries are the words or sentences that a thief withdraws, searches out and takes away from a different author's book and ideas of different authors. So it's a literary theft, and it's an academic dishonesty. Do you know a teacher is supposed to be moral, and he is supposed to be a role model for everyone. So a teacher should not be immoral. So if a teacher does such type of things during his academic activities, It can be called academic dishonesty. And all these practices are called unethical practice. That is not according to uh, the lens of morality. All these things are not good for society and also for the academician who is doing so. Now let me move further. You can I have shown some pictures. You can see it in first picture. Two students, we can say, or we can also say two examinees are there, and one is writing and second one is trying to copy that. But the first one is not aware that second one is trying to copy. In second image, we see that one head has some idea and some unknown person is trying to get that idea. In the third image, we see that there is a research paper and there is a stamp of stolen. It means this paper is not original. The original writer is someone else and someone has given his own name. It's a totally plagiarized, it's totally stolen. In fourth image, we see that something is written. And what is written? Copying without permission is stealing. Copying without permission is stealing. Thief. It means those who copy and do not cite properly, they can be called thief. And in fifth image, we see that there is someone's signature, but that signature had been slashed, and after below that signature, it is written mine. It means you have given your own name to a paper or to a thesis or to an idea, or it may be some words. Now I'll come to the definition. What is definition? According to Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, to steal and pass off as one's own idea. You steal someone's idea and claim that it's your own. It's called plagiarism. To use another's production without crediting the source to commit literary theft. If you use someone else's idea, words, imagination, or anything, and you don't give credit to the writer, the original writer, it is also called a literary theft. That is also a plagiarism. And next one is to present as new and original an idea derived from an existing source. It's a very important. People nowadays doing this one very frequently. If you are reading Macbeth and after reading that play, you come out with an idea resembling to Macbeth, and you write it and you claim that it's your own idea, then it's also a kind of plagiarism, because you are not original thinker. Your thinking is an assumption from Macbeth. And who is original writer? Original writer is William Shakespeare. You will have to mention in your bibliography that you have read this book, and you will have to cite properly. So we can say that plagiarism is an act of fraud. It's an act of fraud. It's a very serious offense in India and Poland. In India and Poland, plagiarism is a kind of crime. In other countries, people take it lightly, but they are very restrict about it. They do not allow or they do not encourage plagiarism. So it's a matter of great discouragement. Plagiarism should not be encouraged. It involves both stealing someone else's work and lying about it afterwards. What happens if you steal someone's word? You say that it's your own. Hmm. You claim that it's your own original thinking. I'll talk more about plagiarism in movies. I will talk recently a movie Gulabo and Sitabo. You Amitabh Bachchan and Ayushmann Khurrana is there. Hmm. And this movie is also came under the scanner of plagiarism, though jury rejected that this movie is not plagiarized fully. Jude Carroll's and Carl Michael's Jetling's definition is very important, and it's in very easy language. In your own text, you are responsible for ensuring that both the thought and wording are your own. If you describe someone else's thought or wording as your own, you have plagiarized. The same thing that I have spoken, that if you claim someone else's idea as your own, you are a culprit of plagiarism, we can say. Three types of plagiarism we find: textual similarities, structural similarities, and conceptual similarities. What is textual similarities? When we find that you copy exact text as it is text from any paper or any book. That is called textual similarities. Structural similarities, when we copy structures and you change something, some words, it's called structural similarities. And conceptual similarities, when you derive your own concept from reading any text and you use that text as your own. That is a conceptual similarities. Textual similarities, very simple. I'll give you example of structural similarities. Suppose I write a sentence: if Virat Kohli opens, means if Virat Kohli comes as opener, he can hit a ton. It's a conditional sentence. And if someone copy this structure and change some words, and he says that if Virat Kohli comes with Rohit Sharma to open, he can score a century. You know, structure is same, but the words are different. But the meaning that comes out is same. So structure is also basically matters with science. Do you know in science models are created like DNA model, RNA model. Hmm. And if someone copies the same model and says that it's his own, it's also a structural similarities. In literature, a plot structure stealing can be described as structural similarities. A plot structure of a play, of a novel, if someone copies that, It's also can be called a structural similarity. Please mute yourself. Now I'm going to tell what are considered as plagiarism. It's a basic 5 points that you should always remember during your research work. If you are writing any paper, if you are writing any thesis, then you should know about it. Turning in someone else's work as your own. If you are including in your research paper, if you are including someone else's idea, words, or anything, and you claim as it your own, it may be plagiarism. Copying words or ideas from someone else without giving credit. If you copy words and ideas from someone, you will have to give credit, otherwise it will be considered plagiarism. And there are methods to know how to avoid plagiarism. So it's a putting in quotation mark. Failing to put a quotation in quotation mark. If you are using exact word or sentences from any other writers, then you will have to put in quotation mark. Otherwise, it will be considered plagiarism. Giving incorrect information about the source of a quotation. It's a very important and most of the people do it. Giving incorrect information. Suppose you have taken some lines from King Lear and you are citing is as a lines from Macbeth and you are giving incorrect information, and this type of incorrect information is called reverse plagiarism. I will talk about it in later slides. So it's also very important that what you are giving the link. If you are taking some material from online sources, then you will have to give proper source, and this link should open, otherwise it will be called an incorrect information about the source of a quotation. So you will have to keep in mind that if you are using any material from online sources, copy the source or citation properly so that the link may open. Changing words but copying the sentence structure of a source without giving credit. You will have to give credit if you are using any word or sentence. Otherwise, it will be considered plagiarism. Why plagiarism is not good? This is the very important question. That's why UGC is very strict about it. You do not do justice with your degree. When we take degree with doing copying or doing some illegal practices, then we do not do justice with our degree. Even if we have taken UG, PG and any other degrees, but we don't know even ABCD of that, or we do not have worth of it. It is called injustice with your degree. You show yourself what you are not. It reminds me of Othello's uh, sentence that what I am not. You are presenting yourself something else, but basically you are something else. You are not what you show yourself. And you are academically dishonest. As I said that teacher should be moral, he should not be dishonest. And in academic realm, dishonesty is not considered very good. Your caliber is suspected. Your caliber, people will think that you are full of uh, attributes, full of good qualities, but your caliber is suspected when the question mark of plagiarism comes before you. That's a very good slide for you. I will say how to avoid plagiarism. This is very important. Read and know the ethics. The matter is how will you know in where will you find the ethics. So I will tell you that if you are a student of humanities, you should go through MLA handbook. You will find all solution there. So read it properly before conducting any uh, research paper or doing any work. If you enroll as a PhD student, before doing anything, you should at first read MLA style sheet, MLA handbook. Know how to cite. It's a very important. I will also, if time will allow, I will also show you live citation, and I will check plagiarism live. So you may be able to understand how a plagiarism is checked and how it is detected and how you can avoid. So citation is very important. If you will not cite, then it will come under plagiarism. Acknowledge and cite codes. If you are copying anything, you will have to acknowledge it and you will have to cite it. Acknowledge means you will have to give it parenthetical citation, and in a works cited list or reference list, you will have to give all the details of writer's name, his book's name, publication, and year of publication. Time management is very important to avoid plagiarism. Now you can ask that why time management is important? Because 2 or 3 years, up to 2 or 3 years, every research scholar wanders here and there to collect materials for his research work, and after that he cannot manage time to write his thesis. So ultimately what he does, he just bind up taking some materials from that book, and he copies some matters from internet sources and bind it up and submits. So there is very much chance of time management and plagiarism, and that is due to the bad time management. So notes source during making notes. If you are making notes, then you should note source properly. As I said that if you are taking if you are reading any article from the Hindu, so you should note down in your notebook that you have taken this note from the Hindu paper and the date of publication and place of publication and everything details. And lastly, check before you submit. If you are a research scholar or if you are a academician who writes paper, so before submitting anywhere, you should always check your paper or thesis before you submit, because you will not get chance to reread it or avoid plagiarism until you know properly where you have committed the mistake. These are major citation styles: MLA, APA, Chicago, and Turabian. So in the field of humanities, we use MLA. Please mute yourself. MLA style, modern language association, that is used by humanities and psychology, social sciences, and in education. APA is used. It's the American Psychological Association. It's all referencing styles. Chicago and Turabian is used in business, history, and fine arts. I'll also give you example what are differences between these styles. Here is it. Suppose I have given example citation of Macbeth, William Shakespeare's. So at first in MLA style you will write surname, then first name, period, then book's name in italics. We never use underline when we type any research paper or thesis. So kindly be aware of it, that you will have not to use any underline. After that, there is a period. Every period is important. Then publisher's name is there, Cambridge University Press. After that, you will have to put a comma. After that, you will have to write the year of publication and put a dot after that, a period after that. In APA style, surname first, but William has been curtailed. Only the first letter means in APA, the first name has been abbreviated. And in parenthesis, we have written the date, year of publication. After that, the same is. Book's name, Macbeth, is in italics, and publisher's name, Cambridge University Press. After that, a dot. In Chicago, there is a slight difference that MLA in Chicago. We find that the year of publication comes after, just after the surname and first name of author. After that, book's name and Cambridge University Press as publisher. In Turabian, MLA and Turabian is same. You can see it. MLA and Turabian both are in same style, but there is a little bit difference. In next slide, I have given 5 instances that are very important for you. These 5 instances are, I have copied 4 lines from Francis Bacon's Office Studies. You can see on screen. Some books are to be tested, others to be swallowed. And exact made of them by others. This is original text of Francis Bacon, and I have cited that from where these lines have been taken. Now, after this citation, you will see that in lower part, this citation, this has been these lines have been used for a paper. I have just given, I have created an example for you. You can see that with purple color, some lines have been copied from original text. After that, the writer has given his own comment, and he also used parenthetical citation, and after that he has given citation also. So where is problem? Lines used without quotation mark. You know, these lines that are colored in purple.
कैसे करो?
These are original text from Francis Bacon. These are original text, but the problem is that these original texts are not in double inverted comma. So it's a very important. Everything here is fine. He has given parenthetical citation. He has given full citation from where the text has been given. But the problem is that he has used some lines, but it's not in double inverted comma. So it's a very important that if you are taking some lines of words, you will have to put in double inverted comma. Here result is plagiarism of not using double inverted comma. Now it's another example. These are situations that we face during our research work. That's why I have created it. The same paragraph is here from Francis Bacon. And here the research scholar or someone has paraphrased it. He has derived his own meaning from Francis Bacon's Of Studies paragraph. So action is here paraphrased without acknowledgement citation. We see that here is no acknowledgement, here is no citation. It means this derivative ideas that comes from Francis Bacon's Of Studies is claimed by the author that it's his own, but it has been derived from Francis Bacon's Of Studies. So he will have to acknowledge it. He will have to cite it that he has taken these ideas from Francis Bacon's Of Studies. Now, next situation is the same quotation is here, and here what happens? Here the writer has paraphrased the lines of studies, and he has given also parenthetical citation as well as he has given proper citation and full citation. It means he has paraphrased and acknowledged and given citation. Then result is here is no plagiarism. No plagiarism because he has paraphrased and acknowledged with citation, with parenthetical citation and full citation. Now another instance is some books are to be tested. The same lines are here and the same citation is here. And what does a writer do? He gives block quotation. He uses block quotations. I will tell you what is block quotation and what is short quotation and what should be its length. So here, first three lines of research scholars, and he has given 4 lines of Francis Bacon's Of Studies in block quotation, and there 1.5 line is also from research scholar, and he has given full parenthetical citation as well as he has given full citation from where the text has been taken. There is also no plagiarism. So we can use in our research paper such type of quotations, block quotations or quotations with proper rules and regulations so that we can avoid plagiarism. Use block quotation, acknowledge and cite. Now the next instance is, next situation is the lines are same, the citation is same, and here a research scholar derives an obscure conclusion. What's an obscure conclusion? Obscure conclusion is that if you are reading any work and you just not paraphrase the lines, but you think critically about it and try to give a new idea that can be your own idea, that research requires. Here an obscure conclusion derived that doesn't match with Bacon's view. It's a slightly different. Hmm. It's a different from the ideas of Francis Bacon, what he has spoken in those lines. It's a totally different. It's called a gray area, and every scholar should know it, where it's a gray area or where it's a red zone. In gray area, you can be given liberty to use that content without plagiarism question mark. But when you go in red area, then you will have to cite properly, and such type of conclusion is derived when you think critically and when you delve into deep structure and meaning of that particular text. These were some instances. Now I'll tell you that you will all be familiar with these quotation marks. The first one is curly quotation marks, and it's also called curved quotation marks. And the second one is called straight quotation mark. When you copy something from internet or any ebook, you cannot keep it in curly or curve quotation mark. For that, you will have to do it manually. When you copy, it will show like a straight quotation mark. So you will have to be aware that you should have similarity. If you are using curly quotation mark or curved quotation mark, you will have to use everywhere the same. I have given example. It's a double inverted comma and it's a single inverted comma, both in different styles, means curve and straight, curve and straights. Now I have given examples that a phrase has been used, wild goose chase, but the quotation is wrongly given. Quotation mark is wrongly given. At one end, it's a curly or curve, but at the second end, it's a straight. It's also a wrong method. In order to avoid plagiarism, you should also check all these things. Now the next is a blinking idiot. These all are quotations from Shakespeare. So at first end, it starts with a straight quotation mark, but it ends with curly quotation marks. It's also not fair. Here, curly quotations has been used, but it's a wrongly used. So you will have to correct it. Here is also a star-crossed lover. Here is also we see that these quotations are wrongly used. So you will have to keep in mind that these are methods that you will have to use properly. And one thing more I would like to tell you that when you use phrases such like a wild goose chase, a blinking idiot, what's done is done, star-crossed lover, anything, a whiting ambition, all these things you will have to keep in quotation mark. Otherwise, it will be traced in plagiarism. We use no quotation mark when there is general knowledge or common knowledge. So I would like to tell you that what is general knowledge and what is common knowledge. Suppose I write India got independence on 15th August 1947. It's a well-known fact. It's a general knowledge fact. So you need not to give any citation, or you need not to put it in quotation marks. Suppose I write dividing line between India and Pakistan is Radcliffe line. This is also a question of general knowledge, so we can't keep it. We use Earth revolves around the sun. It's also question of general knowledge. But when we talk about Copernicus, Galileo, about heliocentric and geocentric theory, then there is very much important. You will have to code all the lines that you use. Block quotations. In MLA style,
Hello, Ashish sir, are you listening? Am I audible to you, Ashish sir?
yeah.
Yes, yes, you are. We
Hello.
can hear you well. Yes, hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Ro-
Romela. Okay, yes,
Yeah, I can hear
yes.
you well.
I thought that. Okay.
Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, loud and
Yes, sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Romela ji, I welcome to this lecture series from Thailand.
now, what is excluded during checking plagiarism? All quoted work means all quoted lines, phrases, words that you use in your research paper or thesis, all will be excluded in during the detection of plagiarism. And second one is all references. No references is checked during plagiarism. No bibliography, no table of content, preface and acknowledgement. All these things are not checked. Only the main body of your thesis, main body of your research paper is checked. From introduction to conclusion, all these things are checked in plagiarism. All generic terms, as I told you that you have not to use quotation mark for general knowledge. So all generic terms means common terms, you can't keep it in quotation, so it is already excluded. Laws, general laws means what is IPC section 302 307, all thing these are common things, so it's excluded during checking the plagiarism. Standard symbols and standard equations, it's for geography and science. All general symbols and equations that is used, it's also excluded from plagiarism. Now I'll talk reverse plagiarism and self plagiarism. Reverse plagiarism is that when you quote wrongly. As I said that if you are quoting Wordsworth line and you are in quotation, you are saying that it's a P.B. Shelley's line. So it's called reverse plagiarism. So it's also a kind of plagiarism. So kindly be aware that what you are using, it's a correct information that you are giving in your research paper or thesis. Self-plagiarism, UGC has given a notification on 20th April 2020 that self-plagiarism is also a kind of plagiarism. What is self-plagiarism? Suppose you have written a paper or you have written a thesis, MPhil or DPhil thesis, and now you are writing your another paper and you are deriving some lines from your own thesis or research paper, but you are not acknowledging that lines that you have written somewhere else. That is called self-plagiarism. It's a very important thing to note that when you publish anything, it becomes a public content. You cannot use that as a owner. You cannot use that content freely, because all rules of plagiarism apply when you publish any work. It's like a arrow. When you leave it from when it leaves from your bow, then it goes. You cannot catch it. So if you publish anything, then it's not your own. Now if you are using that, then you will have to quote it properly like other writers works. If you are written a paper and you are trying to copy some lines from there, then you will have to put you will have to cite it, you will have to acknowledge it, and you will have to give it parenthetical citation. So self plagiarism is also has been defined by UGC. So everyone should be aware of. And one more thing I would like to tell about self plagiarism is that if you use your own content, then it can't be counted in citation. Citation is very important thing. It gives value to your research paper, but you use your own content, you cite your own content, then it will not work for your benefit. Now I would like, in Indian scenario, I would like to talk about UGC's stand regarding plagiarism. UGC have given 4 levels. Level 0 is from 0 to 10% similarities. If you are a research scholar, then you should be aware of it that if up to if your thesis have up to 10% similarities, then there is no problem, it is acceptable. But what happens if you moves further, means level 1 from 10 to 40% similarities, then you will have to withdraw your manuscript and you will have to submit it after within 6 months. Within 6 months you will have to do your work on that thesis and remove all plagiarism and diminish it up to 10%, then it will be accepted. In level 2, above 40% to 60% similarities. If your thesis is found 40 to 60% similarities, then you will have to withdraw your manuscript and you will be given a time of a year to remove all the plagiarism. And what happens if it is above 30%, 60% similarities, then your registration is cancelled. It's a very important. That's why I said that you should check your thesis before submitting anywhere, before submitting your institute. So above 60% similarities is not acceptable, and your registration will be cancelled. And uh, it also affect the fame of supervisor also. Most of the faculties will be here listening me, though I am not a very good scholar, and I am not also a very good public speaker, but I am just sharing facts that if you're a research scholar in doing so, kindly be aware of it. And you should yourself uh, check, or you can uh, monitor or supervise properly your research scholar, that his thesis should not exceed more than 10%. So for a research supervisor, I will tell that what happens to him. Uh, if 10% similarity is there, then no problem. If there is 10 to 40% similarities, then one increment of that supervisor is detained. But what happens? One increment, as well as he will be debarred for 2 years to be a supervisor of DPhil or MPhil thesis. But what happens when his research scholar is found in level 2? The supervisor is debarred for 3 years for supervising DPhil or MPhil thesis, and his two successive increments is detained. One more fact I would like to share with you, that what happens when you resubmit and it's a found in any level, in 1, 2, or 3 level. Suppose in first time your research scholar is in level 2, means above 40 to 60% similarities, and he resubmits after removing plagiarism, and it's found that there are also some parts of plagiarized works, and it's come into level 1, means there is also 10 to 40% similarity in his thesis. Then it is second time, so it will consider in level 2, one step ahead. So it's a very important that when you are resubmitting your thesis, uh, after detecting first time and after reviewing plagiarism, then you will have to be very cautious that it should not exceed more than 10%. Otherwise, you will be in danger, we can say. And you should use either Urkund or Turnitin. These are two reliable platform to check your plagiarism. And I would like to talk about copyright. Copyright Act 1957, it's about India, and this act is preserving the right of every writer who is creatively active through intellectual property right. And there are section 55, 58, 63, and up to 50,000 to 2 lakhs fine is imposed upon the culprit, or 6 months to 3 years imprisonment is possible. in infringement of copyright or violation of copyright. If you find that your copyright is violated, then you will have to file a complaint within 3 years. So you have 3 years duration to file your complaint. And copyright duration is up to 60 years after the death of author. Suppose any writer publishes a book in 2020 and he lives more 15 years, means in 2035 he dies. Then the right of his copy or copyright will be up to 2095, means after the death of that author 60 years. It will count 60 years from the death of the author, means the copyright will be to author up to 2095. If you are a research scholar or if you are writing any paper, then you should well aware of typing skill. So where to give space, where not to, spacing with punctuations, all these things you should know. I think you should take a course of computer typing course so that you may be well aware of such type of things, that where we should use punctuation with space or not. In Word, you should always open that. There are system that you can, if you write any incorrect word, it will highlight. If you do any grammatical errors, mistake, then it will detect. So Word is very important for you. Word means MS Word, MS Office Word is very important to know about it. Use only one space. That's a very important. Most of the, when I go through any research paper, most of the research scholars and I'll say associate professor and professor or assistant professor are not well aware about that how many spaces we should use and where we should use. Use only one space following periods. If you are giving any full stop, then if, next sentence is beginning, then you will have to put a single space, not more than one. Space after comma there should be, space after semicolon should be, and space after colon should be. Explanation point, question marks, and quotation marks. All these marks are for single space. You cannot use, you cannot remove space, neither you can use more than one. Use no space on either side of a hyphen. When we write commander in chief, then there should be no space. Commander hyphen in hyphen chief. There should be no space. And you should know well about what is hyphen and what is dash, and where hyphen is used and where dash is used. So I'm coming to the end of this slide, that if you want to avoid plagiarism, you can copy, but acknowledge and cite. Copy means don't just copy the those words. You will have to keep in quotation mark. Otherwise, this copy will be called plagiarism. Even if you acknowledge, even if you cite, it will be called plagiarism. So if you copy anything, keep in double inverted comma or quotation mark, acknowledge it and cite it properly. I will also say that we should develop CH and CM. CH means chest heart, means we will have to develop a pious heart, a sacred heart, means we should not be dishonest. And CM means critical mind. If you are doing something new, then your mind should be critical. I would also tell you that you can use only 20% citations. Means if you are using quotations, if you are using short quotation, you can use only 20%. If you use more than 20%, it may be acceptable, but it cannot be good for you, because if you use more than 20%, then it will be considered that you are not an original thinker. You have copied more and more ideas, and you are extending just your pages or number of words by copying others' ideas or words or imaginations. As a conclusion, I will say that if even if we steal someone else's words, thoughts, imagination, considering words as an insensate things, then you deceive yourself. Words speak. They claim that they are not, that you are not owner. They belong to someone else's. The fact is revealed sooner or later that you have copied someone else's ideas. So be cautious during your writing, during your copying, and consider words as alive, and they will complain about your theft. Means someone else's word will complain about you when you will copy. Try to be an honest academician. Use your own brain to bring out the likewise thoughts and ideas of a great author. Develop pious heart and critical thinking. That's the end of my slide. So, Kumar Sekhar, are you able to hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, Kumar? Can you hear me?
एक मिनट सर wait a minute, wait a minute. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. एक मिनट सर थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम है. Let me check why I'm getting double voice. I'm just listening my own voice. Wait a minute. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, I can.
Wait a minute, sir. Wait. Am I
Is there
audible
any
to all
problem?
of you?
Yeah, I can.
Am I audible to you?
Yes,
Okay,
I can
okay,
hear
okay. Sorry, sir. There was some problem. There was some problem. I'm really sorry for that. A lot of thanks to you, sir. It was really very marvelous, very fruitful, and very knowledgeable lecture for all of us. As I have received comment from all my attendees, they are really very happy, and they are saying that all the content you are sharing, that was really very fruitful. And as you discussed, what is plagiarism? Really, it is very technical term. Actually, everyone feels a lot of problem in this field because it is very technical term. It is very easy to define it in words, but it is not easy to just find out the technicality of this. Means how everyone should follow it, how everyone should avoid it, and how we should follow the ethics while writing research papers and thesis or anything. So it is very it used to be very technical for everyone, and you made it easy for all of us. So I'm really thankful to you, sir. The slides you were sharing, the practical, as you were sharing, the quotations, and as you did the practical criticism and practical experience, you shown us the practical examples, and through that we got it to know that how can we avoid and what we should do and how we should write, how we should quote, and what is parenthetical citation, what is full citation. And you just discussed copyright also, you discussed about punctuation also, and so many things you discussed in within this one and I think 15 minutes, and really we all enjoyed it. And I think all my attendees also would have enjoyed your lecture, and I have guessed it they enjoyed because the comments are very nice. Now uh, I would like to say a lot of thanks to you, sir, that you delivered very nice lecture. Now we are moving on.
Thank you so much.
Now we are moving on the session in which all my attendees can ask the questions. As so many questions are there in comment box, I would like to call the name of attendees one by one. The name I will call, they should come on the screen or on mic, and they can ask their question with my speaker. And let me call the name. I would like to request, don't unmute your mic yourself because it will disturb. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to see all the comments because very less comments are here.
So,
Okay.
ask all attendees to put their question in chat box.
Okay, just all of you can put your question in chat box. I will call your name and you can come on the screen. Yes, Rudil Lumad. Rudil Lumad, you can ask.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Very good
I'm
afternoon.
here from Thailand. I'm
Okay.
here from Thailand. Is it clear? Is it clear in your audio
Yes,
there?
yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful.
We are able to
Yes,
hear
I'm so
you.
thankful for the insightful presentation, Doctor. It's very clear that you emphasize more about the about stealing of someone's ideas. However, I would like to clarify, I would like you to emphasize more on instance number 5 of your slide. It says in there, in your instance number 5, your explanation goes this way, if I'm not mistaken, that you said paraphrasing, exactly different, incorporating your own thoughts, ideas, styles, but you give credit to the author. Now, apparently, totally different statements from the author. You said it's not plagiarism, right? Because you give credit, incorporating your ideas, but you give credit. You are not stealing. You give credit to the author. But however, I would like to ask you, what will be the possible common danger with this?
That's a very good question from Thailand I have got, and I'm very happy that you notice that point very curiously and very attentively. As I said that in a fifth instance, there is a gray area. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I listen to you clearly, sir. I'm interested to understand more about your explanation.
So there is difference between paraphrasing and creating or your own assumption or your own conclusion based on some another's thought or idea. So it's a not, you can see that it's a not totally paraphrasing. It's a totally different, and it's a author's own idea. It's not just copied from Francis Bacon's text. So it's a gray area where author can get freedom and he can't be penalized for plagiarism. Are you able to understand? It's a gray area.
Yes, right, sir. If ever, I would like to ask you a follow-up question with that. If ever, every writer's having your own critical styles in writing. You have your own emphasis in writing. However, if the person will incorporate their own styles, knowledge, and expertise in their own area, so is there any possibilities that the emphasis of the statements that they quote will become lesser impact to the effect of what the original writer is doing or creating? Lesser emphasis because you have the gray area to manipulate in your own ways of writing write-ups. So what will be your idea with that, sir?
So that's a very good question once again. A writer, as you know that we are human being, and what we think is limited, but the topic is same, the idea is same, but we say in different ways. That's important. We cannot copy the same ways earlier author has said or given. That's a very important. We should take your own stand. We should evolve your own way of expression. That can't be called plagiarism.
All right. Thank you so much,
Evolve
sir,
your
and
own.
thank you for your emphasis.
That's why I call it that be chaste at your heart and be a critical thinker. Be a critical thinker. Just don't imitate anyone's idea. Just don't paraphrase anyone's idea. Evolve your own idea. Evolve your own conclusion.
Okay, thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one, we have Kushmik. Kushmik has question. Kumar Kanishk.
Yes. His plagiarism comes under legal theft. Yes, I can see his question, and I'm going to answer that. Yes, plagiarism comes under legal theft. That's why Copyright Act is there. Copyright Act 1957. It has been revised in I think 87 and again in 99. So I told you if you would have been in there in my entire lecture series, entire lecture session, then I told about that up to 50,000 to 2 lakhs fine is imposed. Up to 6 months to 3 years imprisonment is possible. This is legal theft. This is considered legal theft. That's why such type of provisions are there.
Okay. Next one is Swati Kumari. Swati Kumari, you can come on visual or mic. You can ask the question directly to the speaker.
Yes, Swati Kumari, I can see a question. It's regarding adaptation. Swati, can you hear me?
Swati Kumari. Swati, unmute your
Yes,
mic.
I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer a question. That adaptation is something different. Yes, Swati, I'm going to answer. Please listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
Swati.
I am.
Adaptation is something different. Yes. Swati, adaptation is something different from paraphrasing. Adaptation, as I can call, it's a gray area. It's a not. If it is totally adopted, then it can come under plagiarism. But if it is different from the real one, that it can't come under plagiarism. I can give you an example. Most of the movies that we see in Bollywood, like Three Idiots, there was controversies about that this movie is based on someone else's idea, and so such type of things that happen, that how much we adopt, it should not be more than 20%. If it is more than 20%, then it will be called plagiarism. If it is less than 20%, then we can say that it's a gray area, and the author has liberty to be free from the charge of plagiarism.
Okay, sir. But when the whole movie is adapted from like the Shakespeare's play, okay, then what we should do?
No.
Then what will come under the plagiarism? Because whole movie is under the adaptation of
no. You can see that in the beginning they say that this movie is based on Shakespeare's play. Matlab, any name they can. So they have adopted, but they have adopted from Shakespeare. So it can't be called plagiarism.
Okay, sir. Nowadays also the concept of Shakespeare. Nowadays also the concept of Shakespeare is came under the video games. The wide area, it although so many wider, it came under the video games concept. Maybe ask you an example of just like the Twitter kind of thing, the hybrid of Solo Loki, to be or not to Solo to be Loki, or to be or not to be, and the concept of Twitter just like that, ki, to be tweet or not to be tweet. It is comes under the plagiarism point of view, because the whole idea, you say the conceptual plagiarism is also under the plagiarism point of thing. The to be or not to be is also translated into to be tweet or not to be tweet. Then what's the concept about it? It's come under the plagiarism or not?
Yes.
My question is
it can be claimed.
Because in a wider area like
under plagiarism.
Okay, sir. So what's the solution?
If someone says that all the
okay, you talk, so then I will
actually Shakespeare's copyright has expired.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Shakespeare, but people always used it, his concept in his form.
But They can be penalized under the theft of plagiarism. So they should acknowledge it that this idea they have taken from Shakespeare's particular text.
Hmm.
Suppose I say all that glitters is not gold. Suppose that's a sentence of Shakespeare, and I says that every sneeze is not corona. The structure is same. Hmm. Every sneezing cough is not corona. So
Corona, yeah, we
it's
cannot.
based on that particular. The original thinker is Shakespeare, but I am just using my own word. Structure is from Shakespeare's. Are you able to get?
Yeah, I am audible, but you also told that it come under the textual three types of plagiarism, na? Textual, conceptual, or structural. So then it comes under the structural concept plagiarism or conceptual. That's my question. कि nowadays, lots of like the kind of theater thing also, Trump's theater also somewhere it conducted from the Shakespeare point of view. The Trump or the theater of Trump is also considered Shakespeare point of view. Lots of changes are there in Trump's theater. Lots of changes occur in Shakespeare. Not the kind of so much thing we enhance our knowledge and enhance our brain, but that's the thing. But your concept is so clear, and I'm so much obliged to you and your concept, because I am preparing for JRF now, and for further studies I go to enroll in PhD, and this will help me so out. So thanks for your contact, but my question is a
Thank
little
you.
more. Thanks a lot.
Sometimes it's a matter of
Thank you,
commercial
Swati.
gain.
Okay, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. May I be allowed to share some insights and also address a question to you?
Okay, Romel, he's from Thailand, Bangkok. He's an assistant professor. Yes, you can say.
Yes.
May I allow him, sir?
All right.
Sir? Okay, wait a minute, Romel, sir. Ashish,
yes.
Ashish, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Ashish, sir. I'm okay.
I can hear Romel.
He wants to. Okay. He wants to add something. Let me give him permission. Okay, Romel, sir, you can.
Yes.
It's both a rejoinder and a question that I'm going to raise in here.
Romel, sir, you are not. Romel, sir, you are not audible clearly.
Oh. Hello.
Your voice
Can
is fluctuating.
Well?
As I have told you all that it is hello. It is lecture series. Okay, it is lecture series. REL presents lecture series, online lecture series, and it was the second lecture. And in future, we are going to have Romel sir as a speaker. He is from Thailand. He is assistant professor in Bangkok, Thailand. He will be speaking. He will be sharing thoughts and some very fruitful knowledge to us regarding linguistics. And before 20th June, we will listen Vineet Pandey sir. He is net expert, and he will be speaking on cultural studies and some other topics also. I'm just deciding and I'm just scheduling him also in this lecture series. And next we will have an assistant professor from Gorakhpur University, Sanjeev Vishkarma, and Dr. Sanjeev Vishkarma sir, and we are going to have another professor from University of Allahabad. And in this series we are going to have we are going to listen a very nice net expert from net JRF expert from Rajasthan. He will be talking about feminism and in the Romel sir. Now I would like to just wind up this session. Before winding up this session, I would like to extend my thanks from my bottom, from my core of heart, to our speaker, Dr. Ashish Gupta sir, that he gave his consent and he just delivered such nice and fruitful and very knowledgeable lecture with all of us, to all my attendees. And I think they all will get benefit from this lecture. in coming days, till now I have not decided the date, but very soon, to all my attendees, to all the applicants, wait a minute. Yes, hello. Okay, कोई बात नहीं, okay. So in coming days, within 2 days, I'll share the next link and the next date of next lecture. It will be delivered, it will be notified on the registered email ID of all the attendees. And it was very nice session of today, and we all enjoyed this. And I would like to